like chicken and peas. It's the sort of thing that I have for mighty when I'm listening to Weebl and Skoo on the internet. Oh yeah.
Hello.
Hello again.
The ringtone for Skype is quite jazzy.
What the?
Yeah, I was getting into it. I wasn't sure whether I should pick up or just keep listening.
You maybe put a nice drum beat to it, something slightly junglist. You could do it. And, remember the, the Toy Town phase of Acid House, or I don't really know what you call it, but way back in the early 90s. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
People started remixing Trumpton and all that sort of
Oh, and the Rainbow theme tune and...
That's the one.
All that sort of...
Well, maybe you could start a new wave of that based around PC applications, noises and stuff.
As an idea?
It is an idea.
You could do one about the Windows startup sound. In fact, I think that's been done.
That's been done, unfortunately.
It's been done.
I think, there's other options.
There are. Always avenues.
If you were to do that, though, what would you call yourself?
I'd need a DJ name.
You'd need a fresh and funky DJ name.
I couldn't just say, I'm Skoo, because that wouldn't work.
No, rubbish. So look, picture yourself, you're on top of the pops. You've got 4 fairly, attractive ladies dancing around, gyrating, probably in some sort of hot pant affair.
They always are on those shows, aren't they?
What are you going to call yourself? DJ likes to look at hot pants? I don't know.
It's not very catchy. It has to be something like, the commander of the decks.
I like that.
Some sort of grand title.
Deck commander would be better, I'd say.
Deck commander? Yeah.
Deck
commander.
That's like some sort of one of them crappy ads off cable.
Oh dear.
Have you got into trouble with...
Consolidate your debts.
Oh, thank you. My debts are so much cheaper now, I can buy even more tat from Argos. Or
on my credit card.
Yes, thank you. You've saved my marriage!
You're crazy.
We've all been there.
I haven't been married, what are you talking about?
Oh, right, no. Neither have I.
Wow, true.
Sometimes it just feels that way.
Oh.
So, you went to see Borat?
I did. Borat's brilliant.
How come
in a word, brilliant.
How did you...
Well, there was a link online for advanced screening, and I, just curiosity killed the cat, really. I had a look, and sure enough, my local cinema, God bless it, and it's all its infant... it's such a tiny little place, but it was on there. So I checked it out, and there was still tickets available, so I snapped one up.
And this was free?
Yeah, absolutely free. We weren't even forced to buy popcorn, although I did. But
I don't understand, Skoo. How can the film hope to make money?
I don't know either. I think the whole idea of it is he only gives a certain number away free, and that, because the film, well, today was the showing, in fact, I think some of the showings were yesterday, so that they're going to call these figures into their opening weekend to say, oh, yes, 3 million people went to see it in the first weekend, or whatever.
It's a cunning trick.
It's a scam, yes.
I can't believe it. Some people are so unscrupulous.
But it was bloody good.
Yeah?
I laughed and laughed, and then just when I thought I was done laughing, there's this one scene which I'm not going to tell you about, because I really hate people who just spoil films and go, oh, there's this brilliant scene where the tank blows up, it's so good.
There's a tank?
No, there's no tank. I was just giving an example.
Well, I'm not going to see if there's no tank. I'm not interested. I'm all about the tank.
There's much better vehicles in it, though. I won't give anything away. But...
Segways.
Segway? No. That would be good, though.
Forklift trucks.
You won't get it out of me. I will not tell you what the vehicles are, but it's hilarious. And there is this one scene which I could have sworn the guy sat behind me was in tears. I didn't want to turn around and embarrass him, but he sounded like he was choked up from just laughing. It was a brilliant film. And, if you've seen Borat on Channel 4, it's just more of the same. But
I'm aware of his work.
But he's, knocked it up a notch. It's like, BAM!
He's exactly like BAM.
That's it. It's just it in a word. Just BAM.
So you put on the poster. if you were critiquing it. Skoo from Weebl Stuff says,
That's right.
BAM!
It would have 5 stars, and in quotes, BAM!
I like that. All capitals, obviously.
Yeah, and maybe, exclamation mark, followed by the number 1.
Several exclamation marks in that case. I believe that's the fashion.
That's true, yeah, it's true. You can't just have one exclamation mark and then the number 1.
It just looks weak.
That looks forged.
Yeah.
You need to have a string of them, and it's like they've let go of the shift key just a fraction too early.
Oh, those monkeys.
There's a number 1.
Ooh, it's easy done.
Easy done. Everyone's done it.
I've just had a pizza. It's very nice. There's no food in the house. Obviously, when the missus does get back, I'll be in big trouble because she's...
Where's the pizza gone?
Well,
I'm saving that.
She's on a huge health tip, and as a result, I'm on a huge health tip. But I'm not enjoying that so much.
You could have just said, well, I wanted to remove the temptation of the pizza for you, so I sacrificed my health by eating it.
That's good.
Because I'm such a good boyfriend.
I'll try.
Of course, if she listens to this podcast, she will...
You'll know.
She will discover the plan and it won't work.
I don't believe she will be listening.
Okay.
She's not that kind of lady. Oh, she does have one of these iPods. She's all about that.
She just doesn't listen to it.
Well, she does, but it's all music with her. She's got no time for the chat, unless she's the one chatting.
So, just to completely change the topic, but to keep things moving at a rapid pace.
What topic are we on now?
I have no idea, but I'm just moving on.
Okay.
I'm forging ahead here. Okay. We've got quite a few emails lately of people asking, when are you going to do the next Magical Trevor? And that's how I read them in my head. That's how they sound. All of them.
All of them. Even the one from the girls.
That's right. It could be a professor from Oxford writing in perfect diction, but I read it as, when's the next Magical Trevor coming?
I'd love to go to his lectures.
Yeah,
Today we're looking at Van de Graaff generators.
In the 18th century.
Were they around then? When was Van de Graaff born?
I have no idea. If anyone's listening to this and happens to know, feel free to email us.
Was he actually a person? He must have been. You don't just call a thing a Van de Graaff for no reason.
You don't pull that name out of thin air.
No.
Anyway, Magical Trevor. So we are working on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming along nicely.
It's about 2/3 done, I'd say.
2/3 done. You've heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay. That is an exclusive. 2/3 done. We're just ironing out the kinks. In fact, that's probably a terrible metaphor.
Well, we're still drawing a bunch of scenes.
You don't iron out kinks.
We try to figure out what happens.
You iron out a crease. You don't iron out kinks.
I don't know. What do you do with kinks?
I think you hammer them, don't you, on an anvil or something, perhaps? Kinks are normally in your chain.
You get them in plastic.
I don't know. Can you? Oh, I wouldn't use plastic on an anvil. That would be a bad idea.
Maybe a kink is a more solid form of a crease.
Ooh. I think you're right, actually. In fact, so an iron probably wouldn't work unless it was,
a really hot iron.
A really hot iron and quite a thin bit of plastic. But then you'd probably just end up melting it all in one big glob.
Well, the kink would be gone, but your iron would probably be...
Your iron would be buggered, your ironing board would have a smear on it.
Ooh, imagine.
There'd be a horrible smell, like burnt hair.
Oh, there's nothing worse. Or is there?
I don't know.
A burnt poo is probably worse, actually.
Oh, burnt hairy poo.
Like those... This is too bad. You could use that as some sort of weapon.
Those white dog poos. You remember when I was a kid? Yeah,
they were everywhere. Well, not everywhere.
They were everywhere. White dog poos. It's quite a common thing. I think dogs went through a phase. It was like
like
iPods. They were white and
tops.
And now iPods are black, and the Zune is going to be brown. I think. Well, not just.
I like your thinking. What you're saying is.
What I'm saying is it's fashion.
You're saying that dog's poo dictates fashion.
Or it did at one time. Oh, I see what you mean.
They've moved on to brown, you see, and you're saying that brown's in. Brown's the new white.
That is true. I hadn't, I was talking, the words were coming out, but I hadn't actually thought them through. And now you've just...
I've distilled your thoughts down into a fine paste.
That's right.
Can you distill to a paste?
In fact, I probably not, but you've summed up pretty much how we write the episodes. A lot of crap comes out of my mouth, and then it gets refined in the brewery of Jonty's mind, and then out comes the episode, usually.
Exactly.
I don't know how we've come from dog turd to episodes of tunes, but we've done it somehow.
You always like to bring it back to the, the base.
That's right. We have to be going forward in this conversation here, because otherwise people are going to be listening to this podcast going, what the are they thinking? So we have a little agenda here that
Do we?
I wrote. I wrote sometime in September, actually, which is probably a bad idea, because things have moved on since then. So
You've been playing a lot more Warcraft. What level are you on now? I hear it's something like 44. 46?
Oh, 47, actually.
47?
And I do mean that. I wasn't being sarcastic by just adding the 1 on.
Good Lord.
But yes, here we go. We were discussing new ideas for TV shows.
Yes.
Not just new ideas, but taking an old idea, or an old show, and then changing it in some way to give it a spin. A modern, well, not necessarily modern spin, but just a new angle on a show. For example, EastEnders.
On a hill. EastEnders on a hill.
EastEnders on a hill, there you go.
Yes.
It's easily done.
And everyone wears roller skates.
Unless they're coming home from work, and then they have...
Put the skates on when they get back.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
They're only for going downhill, of course.
Right.
And when it snows in the winter, they'd be able to ski instead, but... Yeah, that was a terrible idea.
That was terrible.
We won't use that idea, but that's the idea for this segment in the podcast.
Ooh, a segment. I like this. This is like a professional sort of show where we section things up.
I'm trying to sort of,
I like this.
Forge it into a podcast.
You're all about
right
form.
Now, rambling. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what have I got here?
Tell me what you've got.
Well, I've jotted down some shows that we could use. EastEnders was one of them. Hollyoaks.
Ooh.
Okay? Everyone in Hollyoaks is picked to look good on the TV.
Uh-huh.
Except that one guy who's been in it from the start, who does look a bit like a strange thing. That's all I can say, really, without being rude.
A monkey's bum.
He doesn't look as attractive as the rest, shall we say.
Okay.
He stands out a bit as...
the ugly one.
Perhaps they should... Yeah, the ugly one. Quite simply, the ugly one. And so a spin for Hollyoaks would be to remove quite a lot of the attractive ones. Just put in some really strange people, like on the Phones For You advert. Scary Mary. Scary Mary, just slip her in there, give her a roll, and...
Yes. What, a bread roll or an actual...
No, a push down the hill from EastEnders.
Okay. I like this. Tying it all together. It's sort of like a world of...
Yeah, and The Dragon's Den was another one on the list.
Wait, before we move on to The Dragon's Den, which I know you want to, you're an eager beaver. I've got an idea for Hollyoaks as well.
You go.
You might like this. Hollyoaks on fire. Wherein we set everyone in the cast on fire and then film it.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I don't always watch Hollyoaks, but it's sometimes on in the background, because I have Channel 4 on my TV quite often.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily watch it, but it's in the background, so you can't help but hear it. And I think they've actually recently had a plot where there was a fire and some people died, so I think they're ahead of us on that one.
Well, I'm saying we should actually set
but
them on
your
fire.
idea is to
because
douse them
I
in
despise
some sort of
them.
fuel. Exactly, that's why we need to give the show a new spin.
Exactly right. So,
how about this?
Okay.
We put them on an ice rink.
Okay.
With skates.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just skating around. But before this, we've doused them in some sort of fuel. Perhaps kerosene, maybe just petrol. I don't know. And then all the way around the outside of the rink will be little igniter flames, or just perhaps a line of little tea-light candles on the edge.
Oh,
so
nice, pretty.
As they stagger over to the edge, well, it'll look good to start with. And then as they stagger over to the edge, because they inevitably will, they will catch a light.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll skate back into the middle in panic. Help, I'm on fire! That sort of thing. Bump into each other, and thus igniting each other. And it'll be like a little group of fireflies skating round in the rink.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Artistic. Of course, there won't be a sequel to this episode.
No, it may not be much of a soap opera anyway. It's more of a, human drama, really. So, in a way, it would be a soap opera.
I've got an idea. For the follow-up, we'll have Rolf Harris visiting them in hospital and going, "Oh, this poor little beauty. The skin all burnt and peeling. Look at it. Oh." And that would just be it. It'll be gut-wrenching, to see Rolf shedding a tear for one of the stars of Hollyoaks, who now looks like a the crispy one.
The crispy
It
ugly
won't be
one.
the ugly one.
They'll all be ugly by that stage.
That's true. Perhaps, without hair and eyelashes and things.
He may look better,
But, okay, moving on, because
Okay.
that was getting a bit grim there, in all fairness. The Dragon's Den.
Is this the one with
Okay.
Ruth Badger in?
With who?
Ruth Badger?
No. That was the UK's Apprentice, I believe.
Oh.
I could be completely wrong. The one with Alan Sugar.
Oh, yes. No, she was in that, and now she's got her own show.
Okay. Well, the Dragon's Den is, I think
Maybe
they have
hers
7...
is called the Badger's Set.
Oh,
Oh,
it
you
should be.
see.
If it isn't, they've missed a trick there.
I know.
But the Dragon's Den is some successful businessmen and women, basically set in an X Factor style judge panel, and peons come in with their ideas for inventions and their businesses, and they want these 7 businessmen to invest in their product or their company.
I see.
So they try and sell themselves, but you get some crazy inventions on the show.
For example?
And also well, I won't mention a crazy one just yet, but one of the good inventions that one of the guys brought on was this electronic device which basically cooks an egg.
Yes.
Without the need for a saucepan full of boiling water. It's all done electrically. It's like a George Foreman grill for eggs.
For eggs?
But it's not done with a grill, of course. It's
Is
just
the egg in
like
its shell? Or?
Yeah, you keep it in its shell. A little sort of moulded casing goes around the egg.
Yes.
And it just heats it through contact. And it has a little thermostat on it so you can set the time. Now, his demonstration one completely failed in the show. So I was watching it thinking, I want one of these, but it didn't work, so I was really disappointed. But I want to know what's happened since that show. Is this thing coming out on the market? Because that would make boiling an egg, well, you wouldn't boil it, but cooking an egg, it would make it so much easier. I might just start having eggs for breakfast. Because right now I don't want to be boiling a pan full of water, then having to wash up the pan, and, well, you don't have to wash it up if you just boiled water, but you know what I mean. Is there all that hassle factor?
I do know what you mean.
Anyway, one of the crazy inventions, what have I seen on there? Those golfing swing practice toys, which is basically a golf ball attached to a little peg that spins round. So you hit the ball and it just spins on the spot, doesn't go anywhere, doesn't break anything.
I am aware of them.
This guy invented one for cricket, which was
This sounds
basically
dangerous.
I think it could be. It didn't look too well made, but it was a plank or a board that you stand on with basically a spring coming off the board and a cricket ball. Now, the trouble is, when someone's bowling a cricket ball at you, it's not just sort of sat there in front of you for you to swing at. It's coming, over 100 miles an hour, I'm guessing. I'm not a cricket fan, but I've got a feeling it's quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps with spin. But this ball is just sort of sat there on a spring and you just hit it, okay? Looks pretty crap. It's boring. And he was trying to sell this and everyone just completely ripped him to shreds.
Quite right.
And I don't know why we're still talking about Dragon's Den in its normal form, because we've got to give it a spin.
Okay.
So...
Real dragons in a den, and then you send the inventors in. And they
with
literally
like a
get
shield.
ripped to shreds. With a shield? Their shield?
They could have a shield and like a sword that's maybe not too sharp.
Okay. And
just
how do they get their inventions made?
Well, I'm guessing behind the dragon is a pile of gold.
Ooh.
Okay, so they have to get into the dragon's den, and this is sounding like Warcraft now.
Or the Nightmare TV series where it's sarcastic.
Yes, that thought was in my mind. That's a good idea. Let's build
just bring
that
back
in.
Nightmare.
Okay. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Dragon's Den, line through it, Nightmare. Okay, moving on. I was going to say Big Brother, but okay, there's so many ways you could fix Big Brother. Possibly the best one would be to just cover the entire Big Brother house in cement and leave it for the entire duration of the show, and then at the end...
Set it on fire.
Set it on fire. That's it. We're having a common theme here of fire throughout.
Dragons.
Dragons,
fire.
The Hollyoaks fire. EastEnders didn't have a fire.
It's a shame because I find that most things are improved with fire. Say meat, for example, that's
meat,
good.
Oh, yeah, meat on its own, it doesn't look nice. Okay, there's blood and horrible bits, and slap a bit of fire on it. Wow,
Brilliant!
It's a burger now. That's a burger or a steak.
It's a meal.
I'll have 3.
Tasty meal.
I think you're right there, and also, iced tea, crap.
With the pop star,
tea, nice.
Not pop star.
Pop star.
You know the fella, the rapper.
No, not that iced tea. If he was on fire, that would just be. I don't even want to think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy thoughts. Moving on.
Okay.
Yeah, new TV shows, I think, was what we were going to talk about next.
Let's do that.
I just basically, before we started this podcast, I jotted down a few just off the top of my head. These are probably not very good ideas, but they were just titles for a TV show. Got no idea what the show would be, so I'll give you the title.
You give me the title, and I'll flesh it out for you.
Exactly. Okay. So the first one was just called simply The Chocolatiers.
The Chocolatiers. Well, that'd obviously be like the Four Muskehounds or the Four Musketeers, but instead of fighting with swords, they're a bit handy with a chocolate bar.
Oh.
So
okay.
What they do would be go around and eat chocolate in various places, all the while looking out for the regent.
Okay. And
the Catholics
also
would be against it. Like Cardinal, I don't know, who's the kind of anti-chocolate? Think of that. No. I've gone down sort of chocolatey cul-de-sac here.
We'll move on, I think. But
okay.
Before we do, the show could also be heavily sponsored by, Cadbury's or Roundtree or any of the chocolate. Yeah.
They could use different weapons almost. Not that.
Yeah, each of the chocolate musketeers or chocolatiers
could be named after a chocolatey bar.
That's right. Their chief weapon, for example, one could have a Snickers bar. Or perhaps a pair of nunchucks made out of 2 Snickers bars connected with
a curly whirly.
Or some licorice, just simply.
No, it's not chocolate.
Oh, true, shit.
You got to stick to the script.
Okay, yeah.
You can't go off on a different sort of candy.
Have to be a partially melted curly whirly then.
There you go. They'd be quite stringy. They've got caramel in the middle, but you're still covered in chocolate.
I tell you, the worst thing you can do with a curly whirly is to put it in the fridge.
Really?
Afterwards, you take it out, you think, oh, I'll have a curly whirly, I've got one in the fridge. You get it out, you take a bite, and it just goes, snap. It's horrible. Snap. You don't want chocolate to snap. You've got to chew it.
What about a finger of fudge? What happens to them?
Well, excuse me. No, I don't think a finger of fudge will work.
Okay.
Moving on,
the next... could be the nemesis of the chocolatiers.
Leave it there and move on, okay? We've moved on. I've got other ideas. Okay. So I'll give you this title, Sticky Steve and the Prickly Thieves.
Stinky Steve?
Sticky Steve.
Sticky Steve and the Prickly Thieves.
And the Prickly Thieves, yes.
Okay, Sticky Steve.
Sell it to me, come on.
All right, Sticky Steve runs a glue factory, and the Prickly Thieves are after his supply of horse bones. And each week... he fights them off with an elaborate system of traps and mirrors in his factory. It's kind of like Crystal Maze, but with dead horses.
Oh. In some ways, the latest series of Crystal Maze were a dead horse as well.
That's true. Once they got rid of what's-his-face from...
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Edward Tudor Pole came in. And
who was he?
He was crap.
Who was he?
Where is he now? Hopefully, somewhere horrible. The next idea is quite a simple one. It's a one-word title. RoboWatch.
RoboWatch? Maybe this is one for Bill Oddie, where when badgers and other sorts of wildlife inevitably die out due to global warming.
Yeah, keep it topical.
Population, we build robot versions of all the creatures, and he watches them.
I like it. Okay, that one is a done deal.
Brilliant. Did you hear me burping now? I moved away from the microphone. I hope you didn't.
Well, if we didn't, you've just told us you did, so...
It's okay, as long as you didn't hear.
No, I didn't. That's okay. Well, what else? You see, the list of topics I've got here is growing quite thin because we've been rambling for a while.
We don't ramble. This is a finely honed thing. The whole thing is planned.
Did I say ramble? I meant, yeah.
We're focused. We're like a focused group.
Like a machine.
It's a highly oiled machine.
That's right, and it's deadly focused on a goal, and we've never once diverted from the course of the show.
Exactly true.
Yeah, other projects. What are we working on? Aside from Magical Trevor, which we talked about already. We've got...
That's all. Oh, we've got the Halloween game with the pumpkins.
Oh, there's a game coming. Everyone.
Game's coming.
It's a very good game. We were playing on it earlier. It's, I like it. Hopefully you will. Simply. It's
good.
It's Halloween themed as well. So, good for the time of year. I think that one will be popular with the Americans. They all love Halloween, don't they?
All the gypsies.
Do they? Do gypsies like Halloween? Any excuse to go into houses and steal things, I guess.
Hey.
Say that. You can't say that in this day and age. But they do. They rob people. Allegedly.
Allegedly, gypsies have been known to...
Yeah, in the past. Historically speaking.
Possibly. There is a rumour...
Once, maybe.
That could be a lie.
A man called... a man with gypsy heritage...
Possibly.
Who may or may not be affiliated
or who
with the gypsies.
To be a gypsy.
Yeah, or one time was a gypsy.
Can you renounce the gypsyhood?
I don't know. If you're a gypsy...
These are things you should be writing notes for this, because next week you can answer all my questions.
Or perhaps the people who are listening, if anyone does download this and listen to it, they can perhaps answer these questions for us.
Indeed.
Like a little bit of homework.
Brilliant. Homework's best.
Okay, so your first one is gypsies. If you're a gypsy, can you ever
not be a gypsy?
So can you move? I don't know.
Maybe you were sent to another level from gypsy. I don't know what's above it. Maybe the
hierarchy. I'm assuming they have some sort of hierarchy.
There must be.
Someone's got to decide which field they're going to camp in.
I see what you're saying, and I think you may be right. You're onto something.
And also there's probably ties. I don't want to say this. I'll probably get some gypsies will hunt me down and burn me.
Curse you.
But curse me and throw bits of pegs. Oh,
pegs,
true.
yeah.
Yes, pegs, and little bits of bramble, which they claim are potent flower or something. I've gone completely off the track here. Yes, I think there are ties with organised crime.
No.
Hate to say it, but
you're making that up.
I might be. That's another bit of homework for our listeners. Okay, I think we've got some jingles, haven't we?
We have got some jingles.
You've got some jingles sorted out, so
I'll
perhaps at this point in time...
Yes.
Yeah, play some now.
Okay.
The jingles are coming now.
Have you seen my recipe book? I would like to make a mess, yes. I can make some cookies with sausage meat. That will be the very, very, very best. Oh, yes.
I am going to Germany. I am looking for breakfast. I am going to the Germany. That's where I first met Doogie Howsen. He's a child doctor.
And those were the jingles. You see, and we just carry on with the show.
Yes.
Well, there's not really much to carry on with, but...
Bollocks.
Can we say bollocks?
You
just did. I just did.
I'll say it again.
Go on.
Bollocks.
I was watching, but I think it's actually better for me to listen on a podcast.
Yes.
So say it again.
Bollocks.
There you go. You heard it here first. Well, you didn't hear it here first. Come on.
No.
You must have heard bollocks before. In fact, if this is your first time hearing bollocks, email us. Let us know.
Brilliant.
Because
I like that.
bollocks.
Involving people.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you guys who are listening, because I'm sure that it's all guys. You know, I wasn't just generalising there. It's probably, I doubt there's any girls on the internet.
No.
It's all guys,
I
isn't it?
hear that any girls that are on the internet are actually men trying to lead other men astray.
Oh,
It's true.
that's sordid,
Yeah.
filthy.
I've just found a sound here on my keyboard called hard on.
A sound.
Well, you know how synthesizers work. Probably not. I'm not talking scientifically. But they give
when you said
sounds
when you said
names.
keyboard,
Yes,
I was thinking computer keyboard.
I'm sorry, I did not make myself clear.
You see,
it's
the people
a
who are
Yamaha
listening may be confused.
Musical type piano keyboard.
Okay.
And one of the sounds.
So there is a sound called hard on.
Hard on.
Brilliant.
Do you want to hear
I wonder
hard
what
on?
hard on. On, let's hear what your hard on sounds like.
Here is my hard on. It's quite bloopy and bleepy.
Wow, that is not how I thought a hard on would sound.
Me
I must.
neither.
Well, I mean, not that I've ever listened to a hard on, but
So if you, it's like one of those BBC radiophonic workshop things. They always had.
yeah, I know exactly what. Or like news round between in the background while he's reading out the headlines.
No. I won't have you sullying John Craven's good name. We've talked
John
of
Craven.
hard-ons.
No.
Terrible.
I made no connection there whatsoever.
Right. Good. Well, I think we'll wrap it up now.
That's a good place to round up.
Yep, it's a brilliant place to round up.
We should probably just end by saying our names, because it's the wrong way round to do it, but people who are listening who have never heard us before might not know that I'm Skoo and you're who they would know as Weebl. Oh,
it's that pizza. It's repeating on me.
Oh,
I am sorry. I am sorry. I tried to avoid belching. But,
just before we do go, okay.
Yeah. I'm Weebl,
Now-
by the way. Weebl.
He's Weebl. Yeah, I went to see the Borat film, okay, as we've discussed earlier. It was free, so good. But when I was there and I bought popcorn, I did a half and half. Okay, so I got half of sweet and half of salted.
Ooh.
Okay. Now, it's if you've never tried it, try it, because it's brilliant. It's like, I can't explain
You
it.
lie. You surely lie. How can it
I'm
be
not
good?
lying.
You are. You're a
it's
liar.
amazingly
You're
good.
lying.
You're
You're
not
leading
lying.
the people up the garden path. The merry dance.
I promise you, okay, it's like Chef from the South Park talking about his chocolate salty balls, okay?
Mm.
You've got your sweet popcorn with the salty popcorn, and it just works, okay? Now, that is normally okay, but tonight at Borat, the salty popcorn must have been made from probably 90% salt and 10% popcorn, because it was bloody awful. So
you
I only...
surprised me. A salty and sugary treat was awful, says you. I
No,
am
it's
shocked.
normally good. I assure you, it is normally good.
No.
Try it,
No.
and then if you still don't like it, I'll accept
I'll tell
that,
you what
but
it is. Every time you've asked for half and half popcorn before, the people selling you have thought better and actually just given you sweet, because that's just crazy talk, and you're talking mad, crazy noises.
I tell you, tonight I wished it was sweet, because the salt was disgusting.
Right, good. So we've cleaned up the fact that sometimes if you put salt with sugar, it's disgusting. So what you're saying is, whenever you ask for that half and half popcorn, you're taking your taste bud type life in your hands.
You are. It's like a game of roulette with food.
Yeah.
Quite
Roulette.
literally, okay? Because you're putting your hand into the bag. You don't know if that bit of popcorn is going to be a salty one or a sweet one.
That's true.
Okay. Now, occasionally, if you put your hand in and get a handful, and then shovel it in your mouth, you get a mixture. Okay.
Ooh.
Now that sounds gross, but it
does
is not.
sound gross.
Try it.
No, I'm not going to try it.
Just once, okay?
No.
Or get your sweet popcorn, get the missus to get salt,
No.
and just try a little bit of experimentation.
No.
With the
No,
popcorn. I
I
don't mean
won't do
sexually or anything.
I won't do it.
I wasn't insinuating you should experiment sexually or anything. That was
I'm
just
not gonna do
an
that.
idea.
Go, I'm not gonna mix up my popcorn in such a fashion. I think you're sick
Do
and
not
you're wrong.
mix the popcorn.
No. You're disgusting. You disgust me.
This is not Ghostbusters, okay? It is okay to mix the beams.
The beans? There's beans in there as well.
Beams! No, the beam. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
We've lost the plot here.
I've had enough of you. You're just wanging on.
Well, I'll hang up on you then.
You should. Wait a minute. Before you go, though, here's another little noisy thing. I think you might like this one. It's called Beauty. I don't know what it sounds like. Here we go. Ready? Beauty. Yep.
That's horrible.
It is. I'm not impressed.
That sounds like a car that can't start.
I'm not impressed by that.
Beauty.
That's disgusting. That's not beauty at all. That's horrible.
You want to label that differently, I think.
Crappy, I'll call it.
Yeah.
All
anyway,
right.
What a lovely end to the show.
Brilliant. All right. Cheers.
Goodbye.
And thank you for listening. Goodbye. Bye.
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 Bye.